wonderful time on the show with us because we have a whole lot to share with you. UEFA Champions League took center stage last night. Incredible result. Galatasaray spanking Juventus. Then the game, between Benfica and Real Madrid delivered everything drama yesterday in Portugal. So this and more we will be talking about on the show today. My name is Sheyi Alao. You're welcome to the show once again. Emmanuel Dasalu is making a return to the studio, appearing for the first time of the week, while Akeem Obe and Moses or Jeremy drops off to the bench. Emmanuel, it's nice to have you back. What a night of Champions League football. I mean, for spectacle at the highest level. That's what you should expect, from our top club side, of course, with top players as well.
We're talking about a fight for top 16 spots in Europe as we speak. Those teams that couldn't make the top 8 are now fighting, and I think we had drama in many of the games that we saw. Galatasaray started things off for us against Juventus, then the highly anticipated game between Real Madrid and Benfica. Also, to some it lived to the billing, lived up to the expectations, the drama on and off the field, having to take a 10-minute recess from the game owing to the incident with Prestiani and Vinicius Jr. as well. So all in all, well, I think every day we get to see what makes the new format of the Champions League very exciting to watch. You look at all of those games, but Borussia Dortmund was also in action, and I think they are also one step.
They are one step in. You also have Paris Saint-Germain as well. That game actually delivered another drama.
That was another drama.
Monaco with 2 goals ahead, and it was looking like it's going to be a night to forget.
We were talking about what it means to go to the Principality and play. I think the sum total was that you don't know the version of Monaco that would turn up. You don't know the version of Monaco that would not show up in that game. And of course the drama, PSG, both French sides in that one. So I like the fact that we got goals in that one. We got goals in the Galatasaray game. The only sad part for me, despite his contribution, was that I didn't get to see Victor Osimhen on the score sheet. Talking about our Victor Osimhen, so let's have it our first new item, all the way, from Turkey. Galatasaray, the Turkish Super League champions, actually delivered a very, very good result that will actually linger on in the memory of some of their fans, for a very, very long time. Galatasaray is 5 past Juventus in French fourth leg. It was a catastrophic night, for the old ladies. They look jaded, they look out of place. But before the ball was actually kicked, many people tipped Juventus, to get the job done. The only surprising thing from this game is not just the result, it's Victor Osimhen not scoring. That's why Galatasaray 18-5, but he did recorded 2 assists. But the performance of Juventus, for me, shambolic and very, very embarrassing. I think it was a statement win for Galatasaray, especially for those of us who watch European football, and they are saying that you have to start taking us seriously in the Turkish league. Yes, there is always this the second league syndrome where we feel like the Premier League, the La Liga, the Serie A, the Bundesliga are weighted better than yes, that's the word, than the Turkish league, and you can't fault that. But at the same time, when you see performances like this against a very storied club in the UEFA Champions League and the Serie A as well, Juventus, it was end to end at some point. 2-1, 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2. Then at some point, Galatasaray just seized the initiative. And Victor Osimhen was a thorn in the flesh. Either he got on the score sheet or not, it was a thorn in the flesh for the defenders of Juventus. They found it extremely difficult playing against him. Some people will say that they have issues with his attitude in this game, but that's Victor Osimhen for you. Passionate at every point. Either you are leading by 4 goals. I think we said this thing during the Nations Cup. When you feel like the game is done and dusted, because Juventus was leading 5 goals to 2, and it felt like the game is all done and dusted. But Osimhen would not believe that a game is done until the final whistle has been blown. Look at this, and he is still. Why are you still angry? Yeah. why are you still angry? You just recorded one of the
landmark result.
A landmark result against club.
Former champion.
Syria every week.
I would definitely like to know why he's angry. Maybe because he didn't get his goal, or maybe because he felt the club should have actually done more. Score the 6th
against
goal.
Juventus.
Yes, they still have the second leg. This is just more of like the first half, of this tie. The second leg is still gonna hold at the Allianz Arena in Turin. A very, very difficult ground. I think Galatasaray has what it takes, to actually sustain this result. If not, because I know that they're a very, very good side going forward. They can score goals. And Juventus, they are very, very suspicious at the back. They are not that stable, they are not that solid. And even in the attack, I don't think they have the firepower, of Galatasaray. Even apart from Victor leading the line, you still have Amaro.
You still have Icardi on the bench.
You still have Icardi as well.
And then you had Lang getting on the score sheet.
You have a whole lot of interest. Yes, Nerosani, part of the squad, but is injured at the moment. So they are actually blessed with a very, very good player. In fact, Galatasaray, in terms of finances, they are doing better than
Juventus.
Most of the Italian club side. They can actually walk into Juventus and say, who's your best player? I'm ready to triple the wages.
If Victor Osimhen walks into the Galatasaray and the Juventus squad, I think it will still a starting bet.
No, obviously.
It will still a starting bet. A number of those players that we'll see at Galatasaray are players who are on high wages, players who earn very, very okay, even than players who are playing at Juventus to some extent. So for Galatasaray, I think they are already one step into the round of 16.
Yeah, they are one step in.
It's a team that has very, I don't want to say stubborn, but those players are mentally resilient. If you're going to be playing, they nickname their stadium Welcome to Hell for opposing teams. So for you to actually be able to stand playing
because
for such a crowd.
I don't think Juventus actually underrated them, because I've seen a lot of reactions concerning that game. Because if you look at their performance,
Galatasaray
they were better. I think we defeated Liverpool there as well. They defeated Ajax. They had a good result, playing in that stadium. I think we are seeing Galatasaray in some of their best performances in Champions League, in a very, very long time. And back to Victor, yesterday, he spoke about the situation at Napoli, the decision behind his exit. He also, revealed that Juventus did came for him. They wanted to sign. He would have loved to join them. Juventus is not
even before Galatasaray came.
I mean, that was what he said. Before Gala came in, Juventus were in the driving seat. He thought he was going to join Juventus because there was an agreement in place that they would allow him, to leave that summer. But unfortunately, already the Laurentiis decided not to sell, to Italian opposition.
And even as of now, he can't return to Italy until after 2 years.
After 2 years. I think 1 year is down already.
And 1 year
is it down?
Because when he first moved to Gala,
the first year.
Yeah, he's finishing the first year at the end of this season. Then it will commence the following year. Because when he first moved, it was a loan deal. Then they made it permanent. So it's 2 years after, and I'm believing maybe after 2 years it will be 28, 29. By that period, I think wherever it is that Napoli did, a number of us didn't get to have the entire picture of what happened between Osimhen and Napoli. We just knew that it was a bit fierce. It wasn't a number of mutual agreement discussions were not followed through at some point. So, but for Osimhen, well, it's good that he's making the best out of the current place that he's playing out. I don't want to say it's a bad situation. It's a good situation because one, Galatasaray is one of the strongest sides in the Turkish league. Secondly, they almost recouped the money that they paid just by the performances and the goals that he has scored for Galatasaray in the Champions League alone.
And as it stands,
so now they are in profit.
They are in profit, and as it stands, it's looking very, very likely that they are going to play in the round of 16, which they haven't done in a very
long time.
Long time.
And that's another opportunity to make more money.
Absolutely.